and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we're going to talk with two of the organizers of the Hampton Cup Regatta, one of the big events that is hosted in Hampton every year. My guests are Kraig and Lisa Adkins. Welcome.
Hey, Robin. Thanks for having us again.
You guys are so excited about this, and your enthusiasm is always so infectious. Like, it's it's what you live for. No, that's an exaggeration.
Sometimes it seems that way.
This time of year, yeah, we are. But no, it is an easy event to get excited about because it's our hometown event. It's, as some of the folks on City Council refer to, it's our premier event for the city. We are nationally recognized. In fact, we are hosting the Eastern Divisional races this year.
Wow.
This is our 91st annual race. We've been running since 1926, for anybody who doesn't know. We started off the Hampton River, moved around to Mill Creek back in the late 50s, early 60s time
Probably,
frame.
yeah.
And some people may think we're talking about sailboats because regatta sounds like a sail. These are not sailboats.
Powerboats.
No, these are hydroplane boats, raw energy. We're running on everything from pump gas, racing fuels to methanol, alcohol racers.
And loud. It sounds like NASCAR.
Yes.
Exactly like NASCAR. If you like NASCAR, you're going to love APBA hydroplane inboard powerboat racing. That's what we are. That's our series. I'm very proud of this event. It's like I said, it's our hometown event. But we invite just about every inboard class there is. Some races don't, but we do. We like to have everybody come in. And that's one of the things that the racers really love about us. We ask them, what can we make better? And a lot of times they just shake their head, there's nothing. You make us feel so welcome. We feel at home. Some of the interviews we've done with the guys out there, that's what they say. They love the hospitality. And that really warms my heart when we hear that. It tells us we're doing everything right from their perspective. And we try to do everything right on the bridge perspective for our spectators to bring everybody in. Speaking of that, we do have our sponsors area, which is a tenant area. We love our sponsors. They enable us to continue doing this because we are a free event.
And that is
absolutely no cost.
That is quite amazing.
Right. We do ask that no coolers other than diaper bags, whatever for infants.
You got to make a little money on the concessions.
And we do have a full gambit of food vendors out there, and nonetheless, being Papa John's, we've made some deals with Papa John's. They're going to come in with us big this year. They're going to bring out their mobile food kitchen. They're going to have hot pizza right there on the bridge, and most importantly, anybody ordering Papa John's pizzas during the week before the regatta, you're helping out the regatta.
Oh, that's
great.
great.
They have their community involvement with that. Just about every pizza box top you see going out that week will have a Hampton Cup Regatta voucher on there. And one of the things we are working out, you bring that voucher out to the regatta, we'll have a little something for you as a thank you for, number one, doing something with Papa John's, more importantly, coming out and seeing us. Because that's one of the things we try to get everybody out there. Once you get out there, you're hooked. A lot of folks say, hey, when's the regatta? And sometimes we're like, unfortunately, it was last week. That's why we try to pump it up as much as possible. We've been doing radio shows with one of the local AM stations.
So when is the regatta? You haven't said the dates yet.
August 6th and 7th this year. It's first weekend in August.
It's usually right around there, but you move it. You have to move it a little bit based on tides.
Based on tides, we have to
Correct.
run with the high tides because we are tidal water out there. Next year, I believe we are running to the second weekend, looking at the tide charts.
It'll switch back and forth, for the next couple of years.
This year, we are the first weekend. We are nestled right between Phoebus and Fort Monroe. Anybody who doesn't know, you can come right down Mercury and get right there, park in Phoebus, or come on over. Or if you want to come across the Mellon Street Bridge and park in any unreserved spots on Fort Monroe.
And you have to use the Mellon Street Bridge because the other bridge, the Mercury Bridge, is closed. That's the big viewing area.
That is our main spectator area. It's about a quarter mile of bridge. This is where I start really getting excited because and this is some of the input we have from the racers too. We've talked to these guys a lot. We travel up and down the East Coast talking to them. We feel like, and a lot of the racers feel like, we have the best spectator area there is of any race that we have been around or they go to. Because that bridge, number one, is elevated, and you have the whole length of the straightaway. You get to see those guys just flying past and setting those world record and regional records. Because we will run up to about 150 miles an hour, sometimes a little more, depending on the class boat out there.
Holy cow.
But it's just amazing to watch. I got involved with the committee back in 2000 just as a day volunteer, and it didn't take long.
And you came in that way. But Lisa, you've been in this for a generation or more. I mean, you grew up at that race.
Multiple, yeah. This is actually, if you get really, really technical about it, this is my 51st consecutive Hampton Cup. I started out there when I was about 4 months old.
Holy cow.
And I've never missed an event, even just as a spectator most of the time. But this will be I came on as chairman of the event in 2010. So we're real happy to have kind of resurrected this and brought the race back. Like any long-term event, it's gone through some ebbs and some flows, and you've had some good years and some bad years. But we are really, really working on bringing this up and building it up, as Kraig mentioned earlier, for the next 4 years, for 2016, 17, 18, 19. We've got title events. So we're going to have a lot more boats and a lot more for people to see.
So you're not just resting on your 91-year-old laurels here.
Not at all.
This is really still
you
increasing in prestige and possibility and potential.
Right. Every year we're looking at changing something. Keeping the things that work, pass out the things that don't. One of the things this year that we are trying, we're going to bring in a music element on the bridge. We're working really hard with some local promoters to bring in some of the best local bands. They're gracious enough to come out there and donate their time so people can hear them. So hopefully they'll go out and check them out later at other venues. But we'll have at least 2 bands on the bridge each day. We're working on trying maybe bring an acoustic set into the sponsor area, kind of get a little bit more of a thank you, make that a little bit more ginned up for them. But like I said, we're always trying something different. We had to move out our pits off the grassy field a couple years ago. We had a little bit of a rain issue out there and got real muddy, but we moved out to the hardtop right across the street from the police department area. The big parking lots out there at Fenwick and
right, where
Stillwell.
the community center and the police department are. Okay.
And the reason I mention that is because our pits are open. We want people to come down and check out our boats. The racers want you to come down. This is their pride and joy. This is what they work all year on, all their winter, fall, winter, and early spring time to go, and they are very proud of what they got. Anybody who's really like, they're a gearhead, I use that term affectionately, they want to come see the motors, talk to them about what's in underneath the hood, so to speak. That's where you can come down to see that. We do ask that you have closed-toe shoes, and there's no smoking down there.
Oh, yeah. You got some serious fuel going on.
Yeah, we do. But we are.
And that's a great thing for kids too. They can get a little bit more close up and see the boats and things like that.
And they love that. And speaking of the kids, we do have a kids area. We have one of our committee members, Lori Sturr. She does a fantastic job keeping the kids occupied. Because sometimes we have a little bit of lull between the heats because we do have to position boats in and out of the water. And the kids area down there helps them keep occupied. We have a little mini car course down there. She has some games and that kind of thing going.
Now, where's that?
Down at the Fort Monroe end of the bridge.
Okay.
Right beside our car show. And we do have an open car show. Jeff Bateman runs that. He does a great job with that. So anybody wants to come out and check out some of the muscle cars, we've got that element going.
So there's a real tie in that, cars and boats with the motors and the speed and it's a lot of the same people.
A lot of same people. If it's got an engine in it, you'll hopefully you'll see it out there.
But we try to bring in different elements of the community too, because this is a family event. And it is a free family event. So there's something there. We try to have something for mom, something for dad, something for the kids. If you're not particularly interested in the boats, go to the car show. Check out the vendors. Go to the kids areas. So.
And I will also say, because I've done this once, if you aren't into the crowds and the bridge and the festival part of it, you can go sit on Fort Monroe and kind of watch. It's not as great of a view, but it's very relaxing.
Yeah, we do have a grassy area there at Turn 1. We do have grandstands sit over there. At Papa John's, we'll have a food tent over there as well.
Ooh, that's nice. You are spreading out. You can't hold everybody on the bridge anymore, can you?
Well, we like to think not. Yeah. and that does give a little bit more of a picnic atmosphere on that side. That area we do allow folks to bring their own thing over that way, but we're trying something different. We're going to put the Papa John's tent over there so it's available to folks who just want to come and show up. And importantly with that, all you need to show up with is your ID and your ATM card, because we will have mobile ATM to go out there to get whatever cash you need, and we will have our beer trucks out there for price for mom and dad. And the bridge is our sit ABC area. Keep that in mind. Anything else is in public. Keep that in mind.
Behave, yes.
You got to behave. Have a good time. But it's just a fun for all. I mean, like Lisa, this is a family event. We've seen folks come out there. The mom's pregnant one year, next year she's carrying a baby, the next year she's walking with a toddler, and next thing the kid's out there waving his own checkered flag. And before long, they're bringing their own.
So ballpark, how many boats compete in that weekend?
Probably this year, probably between 70 and 80. because it is a tidal event, then that does tend to draw from a little bit bigger area than just our region. So we're probably going to have about 10 classes of boats. We've got hydroplanes, which is kind of what people think about traditionally, the boats with the 3-point stands kind of right on that pocket of air. We also have a pretty good standing of Jersey speed skiffs. Those are kind of cool. There's a lot of people who actually like those. They're the bouncing boats is kind of what they've been.
Oh,
Turn around
okay.
the
Yeah,
sides.
yep. And they're the only ones. They're an open cockpit, but they do have 2 people in them. Which is kind of cool because when they're doing their warm-up laps, of course, they're waving to the crowds and everything. And then our third class is the flat bottoms. Everybody always asks about the flat bottoms. Those are the ones, it looks like a ski boat, but you really wouldn't want to,
You wouldn't
want to be behind
it.
that. No, it's usually just enough boat to keep the engine up out of the water. And if we get really, really technical, we have our 4th class, which is actually very, very kid-oriented. It's for the 9 to 14-year-olds. It's called a J-class hydro. Little bitty boat, and it's got a little bitty outboard engine on it. The cool thing about our particular region is we have a try it before you buy it situation set up. There's a trailer that's got a couple boats on there. They've got the helmets, they've got the life jackets. So if the kids are out there and they see it before mom and dad put a lot of money into this, they can actually let the kids go ride around and see whether it's something they'd be interested in doing or not.
And a lot of our younger drivers, that's where they started at. And I've said this on the radio show a couple times. That's where you can really see if you've got a potential racer in them. If they're out there, and because with those smaller boats, they're leaning in, leaning back, into the turns. And every now and again, they lean in too much and they go in the creek. If when rescue gets them out, and we have a fabulous water rescue team, by the way. Thankfully, we don't have to use them too often. But when they pull them out, if the kid throws his helmet off and I'm done, blah, 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 where's my mom? Then we know, okay,
Not gonna
not
make
good.
It's not for you.
But if that kid gets out and he gets back on the shore, he's like, "Where's my boat?" Then, all right, we got somebody here.
Well, you got to figure your limits. I mean,
Yeah.
really, in a way that's safe, you got to push, or
Right.
you don't win, right?
And a lot of, and that's.
Did you race, Lisa?
I did not. I have been fortunate enough to take a couple rides. We do a flag lap. We try to do a flag lap at the beginning of each race where we play the the national anthem, and then we also play the Canadian national anthem because we usually have a fairly good contingency of guys that come from Canada. So I've had the fortune to ride in Jersey Speed Skiff for that, and then the Hall family out at Blue Water Yachts has got a vintage 2-seater hydro that I was able to ride in that one. So I mean, that was cool because you could get the experience without the responsibility of actually having to power the boat.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And one important thing for everyone to realize too, we don't cancel a boat race.
Ever.
We might have a weather delay, whether it be rain or like last year we had
It's
a
wind.
wind delay.
Wind.
But as soon as the weather clears, we get right back on the water because we can race up till dark. Our insurance, riders, and everything, we can do that as long as it's safe. We can do that, and we have done that. In years past, we've had a rain shower pass through or whatnot. There's my word. That's my go-to word. That water gets as flat as glass, and you see some of the best racing
Really?
after a storm. I'm here to tell you. And we literally have raced up to 8 o'clock at night before.
So you generally, I mean, if the weather's good, you start around.
Between 11 and
11.
noon.
Yeah,
Again, we're watching that
11-ish.
tide, and we'll run up till 4 or 5. Again, all
Normally.
driven by the tide. But again, if the storm comes in and we got to do a little bit of delay and we get back on the water, we do. And so the takeaway with this is it rains, go take a break, but come back.
Right.
Well, and you guys, last year during the wind delay, you had a lot of things going on to keep people busy, to keep
Yeah.
people. There's other things to do.
Right, and actually last year during the wind delay, we had about 5 teams volunteer to bring their boats up on the bridge, start them up, let people get in the cockpit, take pictures with them. We had this one young boy, one of our high G&H class guys, grabbed him, put him in the cockpit, threw a shirt on him, put a hat on him, and all that kind of thing. He got to take a picture with a lot of our racers because we do have an autograph tent right there. And I'm really hoping they'll come back because
I think he's hooked. He'll come back.
This young man had an amazing story. His grandfather was his guardian, and he had some rough times on him. We didn't know that at the time, but I really hope he sees this and he comes back because I want to take care of him all weekend. He and his grandfather both will be our guests all weekend long. I was joking with one of the racers after that. I said, man, you done ruined this kid's Christmas. He said, what do you mean? I said, what's going to top this?
That's right. That's right.
But he was all smiles, and he had a good time. And that's really what we love to see. We have, at the autograph tent, we've got free cards. All the racers come up and sign them as they come available. And that is dependent upon their availability, because some of these racers do jump from boat to boat, different classes, and run. On Saturday, we open up part of our sponsor tent to the vets from over at the VA hospital. We treat them with the utmost respect that they absolutely deserve. Last year, a lot of the racers got together. They pre-signed a lot of the cards to take down and pass out to a lot of the vets. We had a couple of them come back the next day on their own. And just, like Lisa said, that's part of our community give back, because we are part of the community here.
Very much. Yeah.
I'm not sure when this taping is going to air, but we will be out at the Hampton, downtown Hampton block party on July 30th. We're manning the beer tits down there. It's a little bit of a fundraiser for us, as well as to, like we're doing here, promote.
You guys are awesome promoters.
We try to get the word out. There's folks down there with the block party has really been good to us. They said, hey,
you fill the hotels. You know, it is business for downtown Hampton, and when they're not out on the bridge or in the VIP area or the race area, whatever, they got to eat in our restaurants. They're spending money. They bring their families. I mean, it is financially a good thing for Hampton, as well as people. I think once people come to Hampton once, they want to come back.
Right.
You just got to get them here the first time.
And that's one of the things we love. We always like to mention Paradise Ocean Club, Baxter, and their folks down there.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
They help us out a lot with providing our refrigeration spaces. I work at the shipyard. Reefer plant is the term for refrigeration, so I always say refrigeration space.
Different thing.
But they help us out with that. Ryan Downey at Hampton CBV helps us put out a lot of press releases. We can't do a lot of things that we do without him or Mary. They provide us a tremendous amount of support.
Well, the city of Hampton in general.
The city of Hampton in general, absolutely.
Fort Monroe.
Yeah, and we always are very thankful for that. I mean, Hampton is part of the Hampton Cup Regatta.
That's right. Well, so Kraig and Lisa, thank you so much for coming by. I'm looking forward to the Hampton Cup Regatta. I know you are. You're so enthusiastic. And I hope you folks out there are looking forward to it as well. It should be a great weekend. And even if the weather isn't perfect, it will still go on, and everybody will have a great time. So I look forward to seeing you out there in August. Thanks for watching.